Alright everyone, it's time for Occult Literature, video number 188, Celtic Religion. This is a relatively short work, I think it's like 50-something pages, so it's a very brief overview. For those of you who want a more introductory work that has the basics about sort of the Druid path and stuff, and you've got to realize some of the lore there, of course, is outdated with regards to the Celtic people and the development of their culture in general, but generally it's pretty ironclad. Link in the description of my edition of this work on Amazon. Second and third links are to my books blogs. I do have another work on Celtic religion to edit that's longer, and it's more a little bit less basic. This is a good work, though, for those, again, who just want the basic broad overview, like the division of the Druid people's sort of spiritual path. The bards, I think it's called the Vaters, if I remember correctly, so sort of the enlightened, sort of intellectual leaders, and then the Druids themselves, the highest of their sort of divisions or orders. It talks a little bit about the advance of Celtic culture, like its metalworking and stuff throughout time, and this is specifically the pre-Christian era. This is specifically the pagan era up through, basically the fall of these various cultures to Roman dominion over time. It's an interesting work. Overall. The Celtic sort of stuff, a lot of people are really into it, and then a lot of people like myself, I'm interested in the folklore and the religious side. I'm not so much interested in the advance of that culture over time, any more than I am many others. I prefer to study Rome over most of the others. They're the most interesting to me. The Celts being, of course, a different culture entirely. Some of the things that people used to think about Druids, not necessarily true now, but overall, it's a good work, and it also comes from that era, that golden era of academia, in which you have a huge emphasis on archaeology, on anthropology in general. This sort of Victorian, this era of the 1880s through the 1920s, really, is the golden era of Western academics. Because you have that expanse of these cultures into the Third World, and you have sort of the first takes, before these cultures become arguably tainted with outside views, so that folklore and stuff starts getting messed up. You have more trade and travel destroying oral traditions, people moving around, epidemics and stuff. You get perhaps more accurate looks at some of these cultures. Really, it's like with the dwarfs of the Atlas thing. It is possible that there is some truth to the tales told there that we no longer have any connection to because of the possibility of literally the wiping out of a small tribe of people with some genetic predisposition or misplaced pygmies or something like that. I think that's the case in many aspects. And the further back you go, at least in the semi-modern era, the more accurate that material can potentially be. Remains that aren't there now because they got wiped away in a flood were there then, possibly, in some cases. So I prefer this kind of work with regards to anthropology to most of the modern materials you'd see. Again, link in the description of my edition of this work on Amazon, second and third links to my books blogs. That's about all. Peace out.